It's something that there's been warnings about for a very long time, that we live to the income that we have, that we spend quite often more than we've got coming in, and that if there was going to be a downturn in the economy, then people would be in financial difficulties. And of course the downturn has now come, and people are now beginning to face the issue that they are losing jobs and that they can no longer meet the payments that they expected to be able to meet.
We've slowed down a lot. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Never been this bad, really, in a long time.
We haven't been affected directly yet, but I guess we've got a bit of a background concern in our heads at all times.
A lot of people probably think that as financial counsellors we are seeing mostly Centrelink people. More importantly, yes, we are seeing people who are on good incomes, excellent incomes, but their level of debt is just high.
It's certainly increasing with the fact that people are losing their jobs, they're losing casual employment, they're losing overtime, and so they can't meet the repayments and things they had before.
Our clients usually come in at what I call the brick wall stage. They will go ahead and pay for like rent and maybe all their bills and petrol in the car, and the last thing that they do is whatever money is left is what they will go and buy their groceries with.
People are finding it tough emotionally, mentally, you know.
Especially as, the provider for my family, I'd definitely feel stress, whether I could, keep my job.
It puts a huge amount of stress on relationships, marriages, couples, blaming each other quite often for the situation that they're in. But when it comes to finances, that can be a catalyst to actually break the relationship down completely.
With the stress and the blame, then quite often people think that it's easier just to separate and walk away, and then they don't have to deal with the financial mess.
Not realising quite often that getting out of it is often worse than it was when they were together trying to work on it. It puts a lot of stress on children. Children do sense that there are issues, and quite often they don't know what the problem is. The signs of people suffering from worry and concern about their financial difficulties varies quite considerably. It can go from a person almost shutting down and just not able to face the situation at all, to them trying to do something about the situation but not knowing what to do.
We see quite a lot of people who are depressed, very depressed.
People either say they can't sleep, or they just sleep all the time. They don't eat at all, or they overeat.
You can tell that they're stressed. They don't want to meet your eyes, they don't want to look at you.
They have stomach pains, they get colds, surprisingly. They get a cold or sinus problems, and all of these sort of physical things will affect people when they're really stressed about finances. Suicide is a major problem for people in financial difficulties, especially these days when a person can't see their way out. I am hearing about clients who are saying, I just can't go on, and my family would be better off without me. Or they are such a waste of space, they are so useless that the family wouldn't have to be worrying about this useless person. That's the sort of the thoughts that come through from people who are suicidal.
No, I've never needed advice. I've always been able to manage my money.
Yeah, if we're in financial trouble, we definitely, seek some help from somewhere. I think you have to. It's just all part of being responsible, for yourself and your family.
Not everybody can afford to go to a counsellor, and not everybody can know which counsellor to speak to or trust.
For somebody to seek help is a very, very difficult thing to do.
People fear their sense of failure. They feel ashamed to be seeking help or assistance with their financial issues.
Then to have to say to somebody, I can't manage my money, is a very hard thing to do when sometimes money is the only power that people have.
So there's a lot of people out there trying to seek help, but don't know how to go about seeking help.
If somebody does come to see a financial counsellor, they think they're going to be told what they have to do. And of course, that's not what financial counselling is all about. What we hope to be able to do is to give each person a number of options. We would like them to have 2 or 3 or more options, if possible, and then say to them, okay, these are the options that you've got. If you choose to do this, these are the consequences. So what would you like to do? The aim for every financial counsellor is to have spending money for that family and to have savings. And if we're trying to work out a payment plan for creditors and we have no money in there for personal spending, things for the children, it's going to fall over. Our services are free and they're confidential, and if they don't want us to disclose any information to various people, then we don't do that. Clients come in for help from a financial counsellor quite often a little bit too late. We want people to come sooner rather than later. How do you find out where a financial counsellor is? There are financial counsellors in every state of Australia. There are websites. Put financial counselling or financial counsellor into the internet and you'll find a financial counselling service. And if the situation is such that you believe that you've got too much to carry, that's when you need to look at it and think, well, what can I do about it? Can I do anything? And quite often you can.